What's up, everybody? It's your friend, the neighborhood DJ, JazzHandss here. Although I guess since I'm not really a DJ on here, I'm just a normal YouTuber, so it's your normal YouTuber, JazzHandss here. I'm kind of new to this YouTube thing. I don't really know where I want my channel to go right now. I know I've been using it for a lot of my storage of a show that I call Dead Air, which is my actual radio show at my local college. And it's where I review last Sunday's epic Walking Dead episodes. You can all check that out on the channel. But I review the episodes, and I was kind of talking to some people, and this year I really kind of realized that I like to review stuff. I'm very, very opinionated. That word. And I don't speak as well as I would like. So right now, this is going to be my very first movie review. We're going to be reviewing Star Wars: The Force Awakens. And just a warning, spoilers are ahead. Like everyone else, really, I gotta say, I liked the movie. I really liked the movie. My overall thoughts were it was a really good kind of action movie that told a really good story. There was some stuff that I did have a problem with the film. I'm not gonna lie. But the movie in and of itself, I mean, everybody's kind of been praising it for being really, really good. And they're not wrong. It was really, really good. I like the film. I like the film as a series. Is it my favorite series? No. I like the Star Wars world for what it is. But I'm not like a hardcore fan. I like talking about it. I like the world, like I said. But no, I'm not like a hardcore core fan of the series. So this is kind of going to be a coming into it kind of review. I've seen all the Star Wars, but it hasn't been enough, like, year-wise. I don't watch them every couple years or anything. So I can't really say that, like, I'm a hardcore fan. But I still did appreciate the movie for what it was, and so I'm going to be kind of just talking about what I like and what I like, giving an actual review. So let's, kind of dive right in. Story-wise, I thought the story was really, really good. But the one problem that I did kind of have with it was it seemed that it was kind of a retelling a little bit of episode 4, the first one where you meet Luke and everything, because you got somebody on a desert planet who wants to kind of get out and explore the world, but were held back by their family. Luke was definitely, and then you had Rey who wanted to explore the world or the universe, but was being held back because of the family that hasn't shown up yet, that might show up when she leaves, or if she left. So yes, there are parallels, I think, between definitely those two. The fact that they had to stop a giant death beam of destruction was another kind of retelling too. I mean, instead of it being the Death Star and a tiny kind of like a moon, it was a planet that was hollowed out, which I liked. I thought that was really cool. Like, that's such a cool idea, and that's so devastating to make a planet, like, and just use its sun to, like, power up a huge cannon inside of it and then fire it. That's such a cool idea. Like, it was really cool, and so that was different, but, I mean, essentially it was still kind of a retelling of episode 4, I felt. Just a little bit. There were some vast, big differences that I really, really liked. But there was still some stuff in it, especially like the two things that I said, kind of running into the, I guess the handsome-ish type rogue, which I guess you could say is, I wouldn't say it's Finn. I guess you could say it was Poe, because it definitely wasn't Finn. But Finn is one of my favorite. Finn is my definitive favorite character in the Star Wars universe, like, today. Like, his character was awesome. He was a lot of fun. He was great, but kind of back to, like, the structure of the story. It was very much, I felt like I said, a rehashing of episode 4 in certain ways. Characters kind of run into each other, kind of by, like, accident or mistake a little bit. They like definitely not the stuff between Poe and Finn, but kind of how Finn ran into Rey and BB-8, who I will go on record and say BB-8 is a lot better than R2-D2 in my opinion. My opinion, R2-D2 is like this smug, sassy little little a-hole that just drives around and will he's like Bart Simpson, like he'll backtuck you and stuff. And BB-8 is this nice, calm little robot who can get a little sassy, but he's got your back. He gave Finn the thumbs up. So BB-8's my boy. I'm all BB-8 all the way. I'm glad he was in it, and I hope we see more of him, even though they brought R2 back later in the end. I really hope we see more of him, but story structure-wise, it was really, really good. And with normal stories, kind of like, as an example, because it's one of the series that I know and kind of love the best, Avatar: The Last Airbender. With stories kind of like this, it's always nice to kind of get what happens after. We get to see what happens after the initial end, and how everything's not wrapped up in a tiny little bow. It's very much still turmoil. They beat this big bad guy, but there's still little pockets of stuff going on. There's still drama, and normally I really like that because it just shows that the world's real. There is going to be drama. There's going to be different points of opinion, and this is going to kind of get in the way of the initial piece, even after the big bad guy. With series like Avatar: The Last Airbender, how it led into Legend of Korra, I thought that was really nice. That yes, it wasn't tied up like a nice little bow, and there was still drama. But with this, I don't know. I felt actually kind of bad, which is really, really weird. Because, like I said, I love it's not a happy ending. It's not wrapped up in a tiny little bow. I love when stories do that and continue on and show the progression. But with this, I felt bad about it because you see these characters that are essentially legends now. Like, mythical, like, legends. I mean, even if you're not a Star Wars fan, you know who Han Solo is. You know who Princess Leia is. You know who Luke Skywalker is. You know these characters. And at the end, and it's been such a long time, you hope that they would have had a decent life. They would have lived out their life, had a couple kids, and have been happy. And maybe even if they weren't in the movie at all, you could still kind of get like, oh, well, it's cool, stuff's going to happen after, but because it's like dealing with them older, maybe that's why I kind of am like, oh man, that's kind of sad, because like everything they worked for is gone now, and they're kind of picking up the pieces and living with the decisions they make, and how they haven't been able to really rest and relax. It's like Darth Vader's gone, but then this stuff is still happening. So it's bittersweet because I love that kind of storytelling, but I also feel really bad for Leia, Luke, and Han, and poor Chewie. I felt really, really bad for these. I felt bad for the characters. You want that happy ending, and they didn't get that, and especially poor Han. That's a different story, but kind of now, like the story in and of itself, I thought was really, really good. A little bit of a retelling. And I'm wondering if they're going to be doing that with the other ones. Like, a lot of people are speculating that in the second one, Rey might lose her hand. Because Luke lost his hand in the second one, I believe. And Anakin lost his hand in the second one. If it's like a kind of tradition for the main character to lose her hand. Or maybe, even a family trait. Which I'm going to be getting into a little bit later. So, get ready for that. But overall story, I thought it was really fantastic. I took my brother, who's not really a Star Wars fan. He had no real intention of seeing this movie. He just could not care about this movie at all. And he was on the edge of his seats. Really, really well done story. Fun characters. Had a lot of good comedy in it, honestly. Like, more comedy than I thought. And it wasn't from, like, C-3PO or BB-8 or R2-D2 or Chewbacca. There was some from them, but, like, there was a lot of the main characters actually kind of cutting one-liners that was really funny, and it broke the tension a little bit, and I loved it. Another thing that I loved that I wish we could have seen more, and I hope comes back in the sequel series to it, or in the sequel videos to it, movies to it, is there was a lot of cool moments when Rey and Finn were flying the Millennium Falcon, and the TIE Fighters were chasing them, that you kind of get that chill, like on the back of your spine or on the back of your neck, and like you're really in there, kind of flying around and dodging the TIE Fighters with them, and that was so cool. And now that we have the technology to really make it look like we're were sitting in the cockpit and flying around, like, instead of, like, the green screen and doing all these cool maneuvers and stuff like that. Like, I really hope we see more of that, because that was a lot of fun. And to, you know, be inside the Millennium Falcon and fly around and dodge stuff, like, is really, really, really cool. And I hope we get more of that in the future. I really do. Other stuff, I hope we kind of visit a little bit more planets, get to see kind of more of the indigenous life. We got those in the other films, but I feel that this one was really kind of... I don't know. Like, it's been so long since I've seen the original Star Wars, so it's hard to compare. But for this one, at least, I really liked how we got to see some of the different lifestyles of... You know, we got to see, like, those people that were working on the ship for scraps, and, you know, the big guy, one portion, and whatever. I liked it. I like to see the different races that we haven't really seen before, and just kind of what's going on every planet. Because, I mean, it's Star Wars, so you got, like, billions upon billions of planets, and I want to know more about them. You know, I want to go places that we haven't really seen before. I mean, we kind of did that in this one, but sometimes I feel that, like, for Star Wars, their planets are very generic, the same, and that's how I feel. Like, because you go to a desert planet, you're either on a desert planet, you're on a snow planet, you're on, like, a forest type planet. Yeah, there are some swamps, and I'm sure that there's other planets that I'm totally forgetting, but genuinely, when I think of Star Wars, I think of, like, the desert and stuff like that. So it'd be nice to see some other types of planets that were, and I know that there's been, like, sky planet, like the sky planets and the water planets, but it would be nice to see more kind of planets, maybe one at war, or like, between, like, their own planet, like, at war with themselves, or something like that. I could be totally blown out of proportion, but this is just going from what I've seen in the first one. I'd like to adventure out a little bit more, and see what other kind of planets and what details are out there, and how this kind of war has really affected other races and everything like that. That would be cool to see, but I'm sure that there's a lot. Now, kind of going on to the main character, Rey was awesome. I absolutely loved Rey. She was a really strong female character. She kicked all sorts of butt. She knew all about the Millennium Falcon, and I think she's really cool. I don't know if I like her as much as Finn, because Finn's my boy. I love Finn. But I thought she was a really cool character. I thought she was a lot of fun. And I can't wait. She seems to be very strong in the Force, or at least can manipulate the Force, because I know I've had this conversation with some friends, and they're like, oh, well, the Force, you can't be strong with it. It's blah, 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 blah. But, like, it's clear that she's super strong with the Force without any real residual training. So that backstory right there, what's her backstory? What's her whole thing, you know? I got a couple theories about who she might be, and of course, some people might have thought. Of course, let's go with the obvious one right out the gate. She might be Luke Skywalker's daughter. That's not really a big surprise. Honestly, I could see Luke maybe doing that, dropping her off on the planet, because we don't know who her parents are. We don't know who her family is. It's as big as a mystery to her as it is to us. So we don't know, so we can only speculate. So right out the gate, everybody's assuming that it's Luke Skywalker, which I think that too. I think because he's super strong in the Force, because his family's been super strong in the Force, he would have a daughter that's really strong in the Force. And I think because of what happened between, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Kylo Ren, I think, but I'm going to call him Ben. But no, because of what happened between Luke and Ben, and how there was that rift that kind of happened between those two, and how Ben went to the dark side, I could see Luke, especially having a daughter that's really strong in the Force, feeling like he failed. Feeling that, like, okay, well, my one apprentice that I had turned to the dark side. He failed clearly, or I failed clearly. I don't want my daughter to get hurt. I don't want anybody to mess with me. So I'm going to put her on this planet, and I'm just going to leave. She's not going to get the Force training, because I don't want her to be swept up into this life just in case she turns out to be a bad guy too. I don't want any of that for her. I'm just going to go. I'm just going to leave. Poor parenting, I guess, on Luke's behalf, but, I mean, still, he was worried about his daughter. And now I have another theory that I don't think a lot of people have kind of thought about, but I kind of came up with it the other day, and I'm like, I wonder if that's a thing. Probably not, and I'm probably just I'm probably like a TIE fighter, or not a TIE fighter, I'm probably like a stormtrooper and just shooting wildly into the dark and hoping that I hit something, and I'm more than likely going to miss. But, what's it, Captain Phasma? Or Phasma? The one cool silver stormtrooper that we see, who everybody expected to be the biggest, coolest badass ever, and kind of really didn't do anything except point out who Finn really was, and turn off the shields, I believe, for the planet. So the rebels can kind of get in and fight, or I don't know what they're called now, but I'm just calling them the rebels. So yeah, she really didn't do a lot. She was kind of overshadowed by the traitor guy who just, boom, dropped his stuff and went after Finn. That guy was cool. I hope we see more of him, because he was fun. But no, Captain Phasma, I'm wondering, what if she is Luke's wife? Hear me out. I know that's crazy. I know that sounds completely like, JazzHandss, what the hell are you talking about? Let me finish. I'll get to it. Trust me. I'm wondering if it's his wife, because it would kind of make sense if he's married, they have a daughter. His daughter's super strong in the Force. He failed Ben, and so he leaves. He just leaves. He picks his stuff up. He abandons his daughter. He abandons his wife, and he leaves. And his wife, Phasma, we're just gonna say, if it is, she wants to go find him. So she drops Rey off on this planet. And again, not really good mothering. Maybe something else happened that we don't know of. Maybe she was just like, hey, stuff's going bad because of Ben. Watch our someone that we haven't seen yet. Maybe it was Han Solo. Maybe that's how we lost the Millennium Falcon. Maybe it was Lando Calrissian, because I hope he comes in the second one. Oh my god, cool. I hope he comes back. He needs to come back. I miss him, especially after what happened. But no. So Phasma could have possibly been Luke's wife, and just kind of joined up with the stormtroopers, joined up with the dark side a little bit, not to fully join them, because for somebody that is a high-ranking officer as she is, she kind of bowed down to Han and Finn fairly quickly. And of course she doesn't want to reveal to Han at the time that it's her, because she needs to be fully like this, but her whole mission is to find Luke. She wants to find Luke, and she needs to do it separate, because with the friends and family and everything like that, I think she needed to talk to him separate, so she might have joined up with them to try to find him, help him, a double agent, something like that. It's a shot in the dark, but Phasma might be Luke's wife and Rey's mother. We don't know. I highly doubt it, but that's just kind of one little theory that I had. But for another one of Rey's things, of course, is, this movie in and of itself was very much like movie 4 in certain ways, and I've already stated that. And so if they do it this way, I'm going to be kind of but a lot of people also are speculating, and I'm wondering too, if she's actually Han Solo and Leia's daughter. That maybe something happened to, maybe Luke lost, and that's why he left too, because he was searching for her or something. Or because her brother went to the dark side, Luke didn't want her to go to the dark side. He didn't want her to get hurt, so he kind of took her, put her on a planet, and left, and just knew she was going to be safe. And Han and Leia just assumed that she was going to be safe because they need to deal with Ben. And so if that's the case, then I could see maybe Ben in the upcoming movie kind of having a big reveal again, like with Luke, I am your father, to, Rey, I am your brother, type of thing. He wants to be like Darth Vader so much. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Because it seems like on camera, on screen at least, that Rey and Han Solo were getting very close, that she was thrilled that he gave her a job, and he was very trusting of her right out the gate. So there's something there that we're not seeing. It's just kind of there, like that primal instinct. I don't know why, but I care for this chick. for some reason, and it's a fatherly instinct and stuff like that. So I could see that happening. It's interesting. I mean, Rey has to be related to somebody within the Star Wars universe, because for her to be that strong in the Force and just to kind of be swept up into this, just to be kind of some no random person that nobody's really kind of met before, it's just a little bit too... She has to be connected to someone somehow. They have to be. And even Luke's lightsaber was calling to her. So, granted, you could also say, well, he's either Luke's daughter because the lightsaber was calling to her, or I don't know. Did the lightsaber ever call to Leia? I mean, write in the comment section below if they did or not. But did that ever happen? Because it could just be a family thing, because she is related to Darth Vader, so maybe niece. So she's definitely, I think, related, unless it's like some super strong Force thing. And she's completely new, and then maybe at the end this is going to be, oh, let's go get these characters, or hey, there's all these strong kind of Jedi popping up. I haven't failed. Let me go train them, and if Luke makes it out, because apprentices and trainers don't really do well. And if we know anything from Star Wars, it's kind of the master sometimes always dies. So now on to Finn. I'm not trying to make this... Now on to Finn. I absolutely loved Finn. I thought he was a really cool character. A lot of fun. His whole story of being a stormtrooper that wanted to go good. That's that's my one problem with Finn, is that it seemed, even though we saw his first battle and he had PTSD real quick, and he knew that they were doing was wrong, but for somebody that's supposedly brainwashed, that was abducted as a kid and kind of brainwashed and stuff, he turned really quickly on the only life he quote-unquote knows. That's my only problem I have with it. Maybe there's more to it. Maybe we'll explain more in the second film, but it seemed very much that he was... I trained for this all my life. Oh no, this is wrong. I'm going to abandon everything that I know for a shot to help a traitor. Now, granted that we wouldn't have got the movie that way, but that's the only problem I really had. It seemed like his transition from I'm a stormtrooper to I want out was really, really quick to me. That might be that he has some Force. That might be that, the light side was calling him stronger. I mean, they were kind of going back and forth with who's kind of going to be the one that kind of becomes the Jedi. I mean, Finn definitely used the lightsaber in a bunch of the fights, and then Rey kind of used it, and she had more power over the Force. So I'm wondering if there's going to be something that kind of Luke comes out to say, you don't have to have the Force to be a Jedi. We're gonna change that. And if you are a good person and you want to be the Jedi, you don't have to have the Force. You can become a Jedi without using the Force. And so maybe this is going to start like a whole new thing. And so Finn might become a Jedi that doesn't use the Force, whereas Rey uses the Force. So they're going to kind of like mix in together a little bit more. And so to rebuild the Order, have a more diverse kind of Jedi squad. Of course, I probably speaking blasphemy on all the hardcore Star Wars fans, and I apologize, but this is going from somebody that kind of casually watched the movies and is kind of going off of what I've seen in this movie. So Finn as a character, loved him, and I can't wait to see more of him in the future. To go on to the dark side, Kylo Ren, or Ben Solo. I liked him. I thought that the voice was fitting, and he was definitely intimidating, but he took his mask off, and I don't like that. I know that they wanted to kind of be different from, Darth Vader, but if they're kind of going over the parallels enough, it would have been nice for him to kind of keep the mask on, or at least maybe have Rey in the end kind of burn his face so that he's really like Darth Vader, because him kind of taking the mask off and showing his face, I felt kind of detracted just a little bit from the character, because he wants to be this big bad guy, and not saying that the actor did a bad job, not saying that in the least. I thought the actor was fantastic as him. It's just when he took off the helmet, I couldn't take him as seriously after running around. I mean, if Darth Vader, midway through the first one, kind of took off his mask and you realized it was the guy that played Anakin Skywalker, I don't think you could take Darth Vader seriously after that. even though there's all this pent-up rage and anger and stuff, and you want to show that, I don't think you could take Darth Vader seriously. I know I couldn't. I know that they're going to do different stuff, and I know that they wanted to show who this kid is and how he's very much kind of torn through the Force. He wants to be on the light side, but he's also on the bad side, or he's being pulled by the bad side, so he's being pulled in two different directions. And so by him kind of taking the helmet off, it's him flip-flopping kind of back and forth, and maybe if his face is burnt and he puts on the helmet and it doesn't come off, then that's Leia and Han really lost their son. And he's gone. He'd just be gone at that point. So taking off the mask, I can understand a little bit of that. But for me, it just detracted from the bad guy a little bit, who essentially he is the bad guy. It detracted from that a little bit. And so it was still very much enjoyable to see him, and I felt the voice fit. I felt that he's super strong in the Force. I mean, when you first see him come out and Poe fires that laser at him, and he just stops in midair and has a full conversation for like about 10 minutes, and then walks off and then just lets the laser go. That was a badass moment. I loved that moment. So there's definitely he definitely has a lot of cool stuff in it. The mask was kind of taken off, and that's detracted for me. But other than that, like, it's clear that this character is very tormented. He's being pulled in different directions from the light and the dark side, and especially when he killed Han. That was his kind of, I'm going to the dark side, and this is who I'm trying to be now. There's a lot of dimension to this character, and I'm interested to see where they go with him, if he's going to kind of become a bit of a brat, or if he's going to become more badass in the future. So I'm excited to see where he goes, and I can't wait to see more. Now I want to talk a little bit about Luke, Leia, and Han, and I think the big one definitely is Han Solo. Han Solo did a lot in this movie. It was nice to see Harrison Ford again. Love seeing him as an actor. He was great. I don't know. It's a bittersweet kind of feel for Han Solo, because he's this like lovable rogue that everybody loves, everybody knows, everybody wants to be that Han Solo kind of character. You know, the sly kind of scumbag that, like, you know, gets the girls and all this other stuff. But to show that he's really torn up, and to see him and Leia's kind of relationship after that, when Ben went to the dark side, they kind of split up. I kind of like that, because it's like, oh, they're still not like kind of lovey-dovey together because of something traumatic happened with their son, and they just couldn't deal with it anymore. So Han split, and Leia really didn't, I think, chase after him too much. They kind of just went their separate ways, which for me, that's real human. Like, that's really that's more powerful than just like one of them, you know, being killed off screen, or you know, Leia maybe dying, or Han dying. Like, the fact that they were together, but then they kind of got a divorce, or they split up, or what have you. You know, I like that. To me, that's very real. So I absolutely love that. But you could feel the weight on of his chest of how he might feel that he failed Ben, and you know, who he feels that he fails Leia, and he feels that he's a failure. And you can kind of feel that from the character, that he feels that he's let these people down, but he's not going to show that emotion because he's kind of slipped back into that smuggling phase. But then his death at the end, where he and I don't know. I heard some people talk about it back and forth, if he knew he was going to kill him or if not. If you take it with he didn't kill him or he didn't know, then that's really sad, because it's like he genuinely wanted to go and help his son. If he knew he was going to die, it's kind of like, why would you allow your son to kill you just to be let go? Maybe because he knew Luke was going to stop him. I don't know. Who knows? He wanted to help his son in the end. And I think that was really powerful, and that shows a lot for his character. And he might have done all this big, bad, cool stuff, like help Luke fight off Darth Vader and stuff like that. But I think him trying to be a good father in the end, especially for the last thing he did, was one of the last things he did, was really powerful and really strong, and I like that a lot. So then Leia, it's nice to see that she's kind of like, I think, a general now, or she's something with the military. She's not a princess anymore. She's very much kind of found her own niche in this kind of world. I think she was fantastic. I'm worried that these upcoming movies, one character from the original is going to die. If Luke's going to die in the second one, or Leia's going to die in the second one, or third one. That's one word that I kind of have, that maybe they're killing off all these characters. So next, to really make him a Sith, he'll Ben will go and kill Leia to really become, that Sith Lord, to really be let go of the dark side, or to be let go of the light side, so we can fully go dark and embrace it more. And that's going to kind of be, I think, maybe the setup for the second one. There's a lot of parallels here, and I'm worried that they're going to be... I mean, I hope Luke and Leia don't die. And even though Han dies, it's still... I hope that the others don't die too. So it's like that full generation is dead, and now we're on to this newer one. Because I like these characters, but I'm wondering if we're going to see all the others die. Luke kind of showing up at the end, and that was cool. Nice to see Mark Hamill back, acting, live, acting. He plays skips from regular show. I know he's the Joker, or he was the Joker from Batman for a while, but he retired from that. And he's done a lot of cool and interesting work for his acting-wise. So to see him back in a live-action movie is interesting, and I'm wondering what his whole role in this whole series is going to be. I mean, I assume it's going to be Master. And I'm wondering if it's going to be the second movie's kind of going to be Rey trying to convince him to train her so she can kind of go and protect and fight. I'm wondering if he's not going to do it, or if he's going to have the kind of like the Yoda role. And I wonder if Yoda's going to come back, because I mean, if Rey's super strong in the Force and she starts seeing Force ghosts, it's not that far off to actually have maybe Darth Vader come back, or have Yoda come back as a Force ghost and talk to them and be like, yeah, this is blah, 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 something like that. Darth Vader and Kylo Ren or Ben would be interesting to see a Force ghost talk to. I mean, that's pretty much what I got to say about the movie. Like, the movie was fantastic. As a casual fan of the Star Wars universe and the Star Wars world, I loved it. I thought it was really fun. Fantastic. And it kind of got me into Star Wars. Like, it makes me want to watch the original ones again. Am I a super big fan? Like, I'm going to get Chewie tattooed on my butt cheek? No, that's not going to happen at all. But, and I mean, I know that the year's coming to a close. And 2015 has been such a cool and interesting year for movies. I mean, we've gotten Star Wars back. We've gotten Jurassic Park or Jurassic World back. I know we got a Terminator movie. It's like all these cool old movies that are considered classics are now kind of coming back. And it was just such a cool year for movies. It was a really cool year for movies. And Star Wars has been the icing on the cake for Jurassic World and a bunch of other really good, cool movies to see. And I absolutely loved it. I loved it. This year was great for movies. And I can't wait to see what other movies we have in store. I can't wait to see more Star Wars movies, hopefully more Jurassic World movies, more kind of comeback from movies. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. I'm excited to see what we're going to get. And even like Jungle Book and stuff, that looks good too. But definitely excited to see it. Thanks everybody so much for tuning in. I had absolute blast doing this. I love Star Wars, and I can't wait to see the rest. So thanks everybody so much for tuning in. If you have anything to say, do it in the comment section below. And I hope you guys have a really nice day, and may the Force be with you.